Hey guys, so I think we're looking at day 9, might be day 9 for Austere August. The blade I've been working on, I actually forgot to put on the dot from yesterday. So it has had 310, and I can start counting in another little section of 10 dots after today's shave. The 7-second load from yesterday produced an extra couple passes of lather that just really kind of amazed me. So let's keep reducing the load time on the soap, which is Martin de Candre, MdC, and it's the Vetiver scent. It's a big old expensive tub, 200 grams I think, yeah, and actually, I think my video camera does not do very well with the close-ups. If I hold my hand, will it focus or anything? No, it won't. Hopefully I'll figure that out someday. I can see that the level is slowly going down. So unfortunately I didn't bring my scale with me on this trip, and so I'm not able to provide any weight measurements for the next few days. But I did get a couple of measurements in the beginning, and so we will be able to get some soon. You don't need to load this soap. That's something, bloom it or soak it. It picks up really, really easy without just a damp brush. It really does. Okay, we're going to be using the Nacet, and I filled this up with 300 dots, so that's why I have that index card to go for more than 300. We're going to be using, as usual in August here, the Piccolo handled Fatip, and the open comb is the base plate. Let us show you that the blade is still in fact the Nacet, always not touching the edge. So there you go, Gillette Nacet. If I back up, maybe it'll be in better focus. And then there's the 3 dots that have been there the whole time. And then I will put it, you know what if we just kind of put the base plate on and held it all together, screwed it in hand tight. One of the ways that I often get good results in blade alignment with this thing is to just have everything flat and stack it and let everything kind of drop naturally, and then when you screw it in, it just kind of self-centers often, but sometimes it doesn't. And it looks like it was kind of centered before, and as I was holding it, I was kind of keeping the blade in alignment with the top cap, and it looks like it held just fine there. So we can proceed on. And the Soap Commander Balm is what I'm using at the end of each shave, and it's the Integrity, which is their unscented, and this is the variation of that is menthol-free. Now, a little bit different today. I'm going to be using the Timeless Bowl. I made a video of it compared to my usual printed bowl, 3D printed bowl, and of course the 3D bowl here is larger. I did find the Timeless Bowl a little bit small, but let's just try it again just for grins. I also didn't like the fact that it gave me the feeling of the bristles being pulled laterally as it was too close to the wall. I just felt a little more tension there than I wanted to feel, and it's deep enough. Happy to report that. But it's not narrow. It's a little too narrow for me. I'd appreciate maybe another inch in diameter myself, and maybe some curved bottoms to help along the bottom there. Let's just use it. One use is going to hurt my brush, so and who knows, maybe even 200 wouldn't, but it just gave me that feel. You know, I couldn't get away from that feeling. And I did see on the brush the actual bristles pulled to the side, and so that it kind of is what amplified that feeling. Everything looks in position. Yeah, here's been soaking for a few minutes. Open comb, bore brush. Semogue, the reason I said open comb was because this is the owner's club, so I guess the OC kind of was in my head. This is the Semogue owner's club with the Taj handle. Get my face wet now. All right. Sounds pretty nuts, but let's try giving this soap 5 seconds of loading. Now, if I would have pulled this out of my collection, out of my rotation, maybe use once a month or something like that, it may need a 15-second at least load. because the moisture would not be in there like it is now. When you use the soap every day, there's some moisture that kind of stays resident near the top for a little while. And you can see that when you leave a hard puck alone for a long time and it starts to crack. Mitchell's wool fat is a big example of that. You definitely have to use more water when you rotate into a soap like that. Williams, Mitchell's wool fat, a lot of those hard soaps really excel and shine whenever you use them day after day because they load so easily, and people just don't realize that because they never stick around with them that long. All right, let us go here and do this. Saturated brush. Let's shake out a lot of the water. My usual practice. So it's lightly wet is what I call it. 5-second load. I'm going to have to pay attention to the clock there because it'll go in no time at all. And there we go. That's 5 seconds. Drippy. I'll collect up the majority of the suds, put it in my bowl, and then I like to use whatever's around the soap tub, kind of pre-wash, kill the oils on my face. Not kill, well, you know, start to wear away at them. Rinse the tub off. Now I always rinse the tub upside down. That way I'm not waterlogging the soap. And that sometimes can be slippery, so exercise caution with how you do that. Alright, so there's not a lot of suds appearing in the brush, so you might think, man, did I load enough? Well, my current past stats will say that I did. Alright, let's just start going with it. This bowl is just smaller. It doesn't hold as much lather as my other one, but I'm sure it'll hold enough, I would think. And see, look, you see those right here? These are these bristles that are pointing off to the side according to the angle of my rotation there. Direction of my rotation. Yeah, and look right here. I was doing it in one direction for a while there, and all these bristles right here are pointing over this way. That just is what made me concerned not to use this bowl. Now, of course, if you have a synthetic, it's not as much of a big deal. Don't have to worry about those kind of issues because synthetic knots are cheap anyway. Bore knots are cheap, but they have a time investment. It can sometimes take 100 uses to get a bore, 200 uses to get a bore in really prime shape to where you're just enjoying it and in love with it. Now this Semogue is fairly young. It's only got maybe 20 uses, and I really enjoy it, but it's going to get even better. So yeah. The shave is kind of reinforcing my opinion about the side pulling nature of this bowl. It may not be harm at all. I'm not saying it's always a problem, but it just kind of feels that way to me. So I put in 2 teaspoons, and that may be all that I need to put in. Now you're not going to be spending as much time in this bowl if you come at it with maybe some concentrate and you're mainly a face latherer and you want to use this bowl to not really mix up the whole lather, but just, just kind of even it out a little bit before you start, and then I'm sure this would be just fine. But I like to mix up the whole lather, and as such I feel like this is kind of abusing my brush a little bit. Not a lot of room. You have to use your wrist a lot more to angle it because there's not really a lot of room inside there to really work it. just go ahead and use it. 2 teaspoons of water. We'll add more if we need. Okay, I'm going to refresh my face water. There we go. Like to add in some more water. Get rid of some of this side lather because I feel like I'm having a good bit on my face that'll start to fling off if I don't. Smooth out the scrubbing motion is good at first to just kind of work on your face and clean it, get the lather into your bristles and things, into your stubble, you know, right around the roots of the hairs and stuff. But then usually I finish, and this is a fairly wide practice, finish with the painting type motions to kind of even out the layer. And from that point on, past 2 and 3, all that's really required is the painting motions to spread the lather around, because now you've pretty much done the scrubbing action. That's really only necessary on the first pass. I really enjoy the feel of the brush, and so you'll see me do the scrubbing and the circular motions every pass, because I just like the feel of the brush, but it's not necessary. All right, 311 shave with Nacet. I think about a 24-hour shave, and right now it's only very lightly tuggy. That's my trouble area right here with the neck, and so sometimes I'll hit it twice with some leftover lather. Ooh. This is a smaller sink than I'm used to, and I went to shake out the razor after I rinsed it. Well, I may have hit the blade on the faucet. I know I hit the razor on the faucet, but I don't see any dents or anything like that. You can see if I can make the light reflect on it just right, where did it go? On this Nacet, on about use 225. Huh, so maybe the razor is clamping down on this blade so well it's hard to find it. I'm pretty sure it's right there. Shake off a water droplet. And so if I make the light glint just right, you can see the bend in the blade. Alright. There's a rinse, and I did add a little bit more water into the bowl here, and so we've got 3.5 teaspoons of water now involved in the lather. And if it overflows, that's okay because I don't need it anyway. Alright, but I'll remember that because that's something to know for load time next time. Seriously. So I just loaded, how many seconds? 5 seconds. And I'm definitely going to have enough for 3 passes, probably 4 passes. So I want to keep reducing the time, I guess. This brush is pretty soft, and the lather does feel, good on your face. I believe I've got it dialed in pretty well right now. This is not a lather that's going to get really creamy on you unless you take it really dry, and I don't think it's a good shaving lather. I know it's not for me when it's that dry. All right, second pass. You see the little lines right there? I did that on purpose. It looks like maybe about 20 different lines. If you're using an open comb razor, open comb, and you see those lines or you see those tracks across your face, that means that your handle angle is probably too close to your face. Your blade is behind in terms of traveling across your face. The blade is behind the comb. And so if you're seeing those tracks like a plow might leave, that means the blade is not really touching your skin very well. And so I did that for illustration purposes. So if you see that, then you probably need to raise your handle a little bit and narrow your blade angle in relation to your skin. All right. All right, third pass. And as you see, this is not a skimpy lather. I'm applying the third pass, and this is not, barely there. It is a full coverage you know, nice lather that's, you know, feels terrific. And so the 5-second load, and see, as you can see, we already had one pass drip out of the bowl. As you can see, even if I wanted to make it a little thicker, add in less water, I'd still have plenty of lather. So I will continue to reduce. Should I try 3 seconds tomorrow? That would be crazy. Light touch on the razor as usual. For every single pass, not just the ladder passes. Comfortable shave. It was only lightly tuggy on the first pass, and all passes after that have been pretty comfortable. My ability to use a blade so many times, I just assume comes from how I just really like these wet lathers, and I always keep a very light touch. I do strongly prefer razors that grip the blade really close to the edge, like Fatips and Carbs, Timeless, and some vintage razors. There's some scrapey ones, like the DE89 type, that I think let the blade vibrate microscopically as it's moving across your skin, because what's making that sound? Vibration makes sound. The blade is vibrating, and so you hear the sound. The blade's the only thing that could make the sound, and so that sound you make is the vibration of the blade as it moves across. And I'm guessing as it's moving across a surface, if it's going to vibrate, then it could dig in more than it should on occasion, is my theory. And so a smoother razor that doesn't make a sound is going to move across your skin without that kind of vibration. Just a guess on my part. So that's 3 passes. Let's do a neck pass, and then we'll be done. And still, yeah, we've got 2 or 3 passes still left in the bowl. And there's kind of 1 pass that fell out. So it's amazing how little loading is needed, as it turns out. Can you believe I was loading for 30 seconds earlier in the month? Because I didn't know. Well, plus like I told you in the beginning, the water. We've got some resident water that is staying in the tub that's helping with the loading process. And there we go, folks. Feels great. Comfortable. No nicks, no irritation. How about that? Now I'll pause you while I do the full rinse. All right, I got a good rinse. Very happy with the closeness of the shave, and I continue to have no irritation or anything like that. The balm time is now. You just need a little bit less than about the size of a pea, maybe. And I like to have a little bit of water on my face when I do it, because I have oily skin. I don't really need a lot of protection from a balm. And there we go. And you can use less product. I had the Sella balm, and I really, really enjoyed the scent. But it did go bad. It's the only shaving product I've had that went bad. Well, I had it for over a year, and I just had a rotation of balms that I used, and I never got around to it as much as I wanted. And so I guess it is designed for somebody who has a smaller rotation, if any rotation at all. And then I don't think it's going to have a problem with lasting as long as you need it to. All right, the water used, again, 3.5 teaspoons with just 5 seconds of loading. That is crazy. I believe the lather was pretty much perfect with this ratio for me. I did add water after the first pass was kind of on me, and so that does affect it just a little bit. But if I started with this ratio next time, I could then adjust. Happy with that. The Vetiver, I'm starting to get used to the scent, I think, and so after the shave, I don't really smell it very much. And so if you like something green and light during your shave, then this might be a good soap for you. Of course, maybe I'm not smelling it because I'm not loading as much. It's not as intense, because instead of the 30-second load I was using in the beginning of the month, I'm a sixth of that is the amount of soap, or the time I'm loading now. So surely that's affecting the scent. And pretty much any scent I want to wear is eligible now in terms of aftershave if I wanted to put on a cologne. So that's good to know. All right. The balm is on. I cleaned out the bowl. The lather bowl was clean. It did have three passes in it. You could maybe argue 4 for that dollop that fell out, but we'll just say 3. So, okay, I did a 3.5 shave because I did a neck pass to get that trouble spot. So let's say it was 7 passes worth of lather with 5 seconds of loading. That is just amazing. I wonder how low I'll be able to go. Wow. Well, we'll try 3 tomorrow and see what happens. Okay, well, nothing else really to report. Just amazement about the lather and the loading. Economy of this soap. It's gonna, I mean, if you only need to load 3 seconds, it means it's probably really gonna last a long, long time, right? All right, well, very cool. You guys take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and we'll see you next time with Austere August Shave, where I keep using the same gear during the month of August. And that lets me do a couple of things. My goals for this month are, like I said, to see how many uses I get out of a tub of soap. I weighed the tub at the beginning. I'll weigh it at the end, so that'll help me to know that. And then number 2, I wanted to put some uses on this boar brush. It started out about 10 uses on it. And so this is one that I really want to put a lot of uses on to get that boar more quickly into a higher plane. I think boars, you could probably phrase boars as reaching different planes of existence. You know, they can be so frustrating in the first few uses, first dozen uses sometimes, and then they turn into, the bristles open up enough to where they can hold enough soap for the whole shave, and then the tips split just enough, just a little bit, to be soft enough to enjoy your shave. And then that's kind of phase 2, and that starts kind of a long period is what I'm thinking, with the tips slowly splitting more and more each time, but all the while it's enjoyable, comfortable, soft, splays easily, that sort of thing. So you've got nice shaves from then on out, and then you've got this magic nirvana that's 100 shaves away, 200 shaves away. I don't really know where that number is. I expect it's going to vary per batch of hair, even definitely per manufacturer. I definitely have heard some Omegas take a year before they even get soft, whereas Semogues take about a couple of weeks before they get soft. And then once you reach that nirvana, that you're probably talking about lots of split tips with deep splits. And so when you look at them, you're just seeing lots of thin tips here instead of of course, this is fairly damp, and so it's not going to look quite the same, but just a big old bloom with tons of little splits. That is boar nirvana, I would guess. All right, guys, you take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I hope there's been something in this video to help you out with your shaving. Take care.